Alright, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and assume that most of you have probably heard the news by now, but if you haven't, I will quickly go over it. Basically, it's been pretty much confirmed that Call of Duty 2017 will be boots on the ground and World War II. Well, I should say that the boots on the ground part is 100% confirmed, and the World War II part is, I don't know what the percentage would be, probably like 90%. It's looking extremely likely that it will be World War II. There's a lot of evidence to back it up. It's not just like one leaked fuzzy picture or something. You can go check out all the info on Charlie Intel if you want. There's like some leaked artwork, and they've been going back to like 2014, 2015 and finding previous statements from Sledgehammer talking about how they want to do a World War II game. So it seems extremely likely at this point that we will be seeing World War II boots on the ground in 2017. So if we accept that, I want to talk about what it actually means, because of course this is good news, right? This is what everyone has been asking for over 2 years now. Even if maybe you didn't want World War II, you wanted something a little more modern. The main concern here is that it will be boots on the ground. It will be like the old Call of Duties. Personally, I'm not too concerned about the era that it's in. You know, do whatever you want. As long as it's boots on the ground, I'm good. So as far as I'm concerned, it's fine, but I don't want to get too excited about it or start looking forward to it too much, because we have to consider a few things about this. There are 3 things that I'm mainly concerned with, so I'm just going to go over them. Number 1, this is going to be Sledgehammer's second solo game, the first being Advanced Warfare. So we have never actually seen a boots on the ground Call of Duty from them before, so I'm interested to see what we will get. Even though it's all Call of Duty, right? Each developer has their own different feel to it. For example, MW2 feels much different than BO2, even though they're both Call of Duty games. So because this is the first one, we don't really have any idea how a boots on the ground COD will feel from Sledgehammer yet. I'm not saying that it's going to be bad or that it's going to be good. I'm just saying that we literally don't know. So that's concern number 1. Not really a major concern, but just something I'd like to point out. Number 2, skill-based matchmaking. This is something I'm not seeing too many people talk about, maybe because AW is kind of old now, maybe people forgot, but skill-based matchmaking was such a huge issue in AW. I know to a certain extent every single COD has some sort of skill-based matchmaking, but Advanced Warfare was by far the strictest, most like annoying version of it. I don't know if you guys remember, but people used to literally sell modded accounts with like 0.01 KDs on it. You know, the account would have like 0 kills and 100,000 deaths, like a 8 SPM or something, and they would mod the account and then people would buy it so they could play against quite literally retards. I don't mean that to try to be mean or something. I mean, the kids you play against on those accounts were so fucking bad that it wouldn't surprise me if they were actually handicapped in real life. I'm pretty sure recruit bots might even be slightly better than the people you would play against on those accounts. It was that bad. So that was obviously a Sledgehammer decision, because we've never really seen something like that in any other COD. I know in the beginning of Black Ops 2, I don't know if all of you guys remember, but it did kind of have a similar level of skill-based matchmaking. I remember it was a big deal on YouTube. People used to leave their Xbox on overnight in gun game because you don't have to pick a class, so it won't kick you from the game. So they would just leave their Xbox on for like 10 hours and just lower their KD, lower their SPM, and then they would play on the account for real, and they would get put into like really bad lobbies. They would get the gameplays posted on YouTube. It was a whole thing for like the first few months of Black Ops 2, but then finally they fixed it and they changed it to the matchmaking that we currently have on Black Ops 2, and it wasn't really like that anymore, but there is still some level of skill-based matchmaking there. So I have to wonder if Sledgehammer is going to bring that exact same level of skill-based matchmaking to the new Call of Duty, because that is for sure going to be a very big deal, and I don't think people remember how annoying it really was in Advanced Warfare. So that's concern number 2. And finally, concern number 3, what I would consider the biggest concern for the game. We know supply drops will be in the game. There's no point in arguing about it anymore. Like, we already know going into the Call of Duty game that there will be supply drops, and there's nothing we can really do about it at this point. I I'm more concerned now with what is actually gonna be in the supply drops themselves. Of course, we know we're gonna have the usual stuff, the camos, the emblems, calling cards, player customization, all that sort of visual stuff is 100% guaranteed to be in the supply drops. And I guess now I would even say that we can go ahead and guarantee melee weapons and probably guarantee a few, maybe like 5 to 10 supply drop DLC weapons as well, similar to what we see in Black Ops 3 and in Modern Warfare Remastered. Of course, they're probably gonna lie again and tell us that it will just be visual only. You know, during the pre-order stage, everyone's just like so happy, okay, visual only, great. And then the game comes out 3 months later, they're adding in actual weapons. That's kind of how it goes. That's the pattern that I've noticed based off the last 2 CODs. Now, all of that is more or less guaranteed, like it's pretty much gonna happen, but there is one thing that is not guaranteed with supply drops, and I'd actually say it's the most important thing, and that would be weapon variants. We've had 4 Call of Duties now with supply drops, and 2 of them have had weapon variants, Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, and 2 of them have not had weapon variants, Black Ops 3 and Modern Warfare Remastered. So I guess it's not really clear what the deal is with these. Like, I'm not sure what the deciding factor is on whether they want to put weapon variants in or they just want to put regular weapons and camos and stuff. I don't really know what the deal is with that. Sometimes they put them in, sometimes they don't. But obviously, I don't really need to sit here and explain to you why they are unfair. They were extremely unfair in Advanced Warfare, and in Infinite Warfare, they're not quite as bad, they're not quite as strong, but they are still an advantage, and they even added in other stupid ass shit like you have to equip a certain gun just to get a nuke. Like, let's just stop and think about that for a second. You can only get a nuke if you use a certain gun that you got out of a supply drop. Pretty much the exact same as the gun that comes in the game, just this one is a different fucking color, and now you can get a nuke. Makes no fucking sense. Anyways, bottom line, weapon variants are terrible. We don't want them. Whether it's the AW version where they're really good, or the IW version where they're pretty good, but nothing too crazy, but maybe they have some other dumb shit like nuke variants. It doesn't matter what it is, weapon variants are all fucking stupid. So that being said, will we be seeing weapon variants in Call of Duty 2017 in this World War II Call of Duty? I'm not sure. We do have to factor in that Sledgehammer was actually the first company to introduce weapon variants, so I would say that holds some weight for sure. Another thing we have to consider is that they've been working on this game for 3 years now, so they could have already started making weapon variants back a few years ago when they first started the game, and now it's too late to take them out, right? That was the main reasoning for why we kept getting jetpack Call of Duties, even though everyone was against it. They had already been working on it for too long to the point where they couldn't really redo it. So using that same logic, they might have done that with weapon variants. I think there's a very strong possibility we see weapon variants in Call of Duty 2017. So to go ahead and wrap this up, all of those factors combined, more so the second and third, have me a little bit worried about Call of Duty 2017, even with the fact that it's gonna be a boots on the ground, old school, original COD, World War II type of game. I think that kind of gets canceled out by things like weapon variants and skill-based matchmaking and supply drops and all of that. You have to remember that even though they're advertising as an old school, boots on the ground, just like Call of Duty used to be type of game, it's not gonna be like that. It's not gonna be like a BO1, BO2, MW2, COD 4. It's not gonna be like that. That's not how Call of Duty is anymore. There's just so many other things they throw into the game now. We're guaranteed gonna see supply drops in the game, so who knows what other bullshit they're gonna throw in. So I'm just saying, just because it's being advertised as an old school, going back to the roots type of COD, that's really not what it's gonna be. So don't get too excited just yet. We need to find out a little bit more information. We need to definitely see some sort of trailer, which should be happening pretty soon. And then after we see all that, I think then it will be time to see if we need to be excited or not. Then we'll know for sure. So anyways, that's my thoughts on the whole situation. That's it for the video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Call of Duty 2017 will really save the franchise and bring it back to where it used to be, or are we just getting a little too excited? I don't know. Let me know. So thank you guys all for watching. Be sure to leave a like rating if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're not already. Follow me on Twitter. Links in the description down below. Other than that, have a good day and peace out.